Right, I'm doing my podcast on this Wednesday about perimenopause and symptoms, and I'd stuck a little question box up on my stories if you wanted to know anything about any symptoms. So somebody has asked me about random inflammation and is there anything we can do to deal with it other than meds, and they've suggested that their diet might help, or food or nutrition. All right, so inflammation, right? So before I was perimenopausal, I used to think that inflammation only happened like on the outside of your body. So like if you had a swollen knee, or you got a bite and it like got infected and it went all swollen. All right, so that's bollocks. Obviously, you probably all know that. Anyway, right, so our body inflames itself usually to protect itself from an injury, right? Now that could be an injury like a bite or an actual cut or a disjointed knee or something like that. But what this refers to is more about inside inflammation, so things that you can't see, because obviously there's stuff going on in our body that we don't know anything about and we don't know it, right? But if you've got sore joints, for example, you've probably got inflammation, right? If you've got countless trips to the toilet, or you've got IBS or whatever, right, you've probably got inflammation. So it's about doing things to help other than taking anti-inflammatory medications. All right, now don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with anti-inflammatory if you've got a cut or a graze or something like that, right? That's absolutely cool. But yes, there is a lot of things that we can do with diet. So if we eat a lot of highly processed food, right, which our body is not used to, because let's think about it, back in the caveman days we didn't get takeaway pizzas and takeaways and Chineses and stuff like that, all right, it causes your body to be inflamed, so it causes inflammation, all right. So not eating that stuff very often, I'm not going to say cut it out because that would lead to a very boring life, all right, but chronic inflammation comes from doing the same thing over and over again, and your body reacting to that said thing over and over again, all right? So chronic and consistently. So if you are consistently eating takeaways like 45 times a week, or eating highly processed food, right, or drinking alcohol as well, it's an inflammatory thing, all right, then your body is going to have chronic inflammation, right, which is not going to do you any good, because it's going to make you feel like shit for a start in the short term, right? In the long term, people with chronic inflammation due to their diet and their lifestyle are more likely to get certain lifestyle cancers, high blood pressure, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. All right, so sorting your diet out, I know most of you know this, right, and I know you are all with me, right, because you want to make an effort to sort your health out, which is obviously amazing, and I hope you all know that. I think that, I'm sure you do, right? But cutting out stuff that's not good for you, and it's generally the stuff that you think that you shouldn't be eating, or you know that you shouldn't be eating, right? There's nothing wrong with having a takeaway, there's nothing wrong with going to Marks and Spencer's and getting a pizza, there's nothing wrong with that at all, right? There's nothing wrong with going out and getting steaming, providing you don't turn into an idiot and make a dick of yourself. But do you know what I mean? On the odd occasion, there is absolutely nothing wrong with doing that, and you should absolutely all be doing that every now and again. But doing it consistently and doing it far too often is what leads to chronic inflammation and inflammation of your body and stuff, right? And just because you don't look inflamed on the outside doesn't mean that there's not stuff going on the inside, all right? So just have a think about what kind of pain that you're in. Have a think about how often you're going to the toilet. Are your poops of the right consistency? Is your pee the colour of pale straw that it should be, all right? Because if those are good markers that you can feel and you can see, which will let you know how well you are actually looking after your body, all right? So in answer to the question, inflammation, can I do something about it other than taking meds? Yes, you can. And it would be the same advice that I would probably give for most questions that I'm asked. It's about filling your body with whole unprocessed foods 80% of the time, lifting weights to strengthen everything that you can strengthen, all right, getting your heart and lung rate up, doing your 10,000 steps a day, drinking your 3 to 4 litres of water to keep everything moving along, and very, very important, sorting your sleep out, because sleep is the time that our body repairs itself, and if you're not getting between 7 and 9 hours of good quality sleep per night, your body is not repairing itself, and it's just going to keep going on and getting worse and worse and worse. All right, my lovelies, as always, any questions, just shout. Mwah.